Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to connect the dots on something really interesting. We're looking at a single day, September 1st, 2025, and how three totally different things happening in India actually tell one massive story. You've got tense global politics, a super confusing economy, and, get this, a brand new museum that has never, ever opened. So how on earth do these fit together? Well, let's dive in and find out. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to take a look at the big picture stuff. India's place on the world stage. Then we'll zoom right into the economy, see what the government's trying to do about it, and then we'll wrap it all up with a story from the ground that, believe it or not, ties everything together. Okay, first up, a tale of two very different handshakes. On the exact same day, India was doing this incredible balancing act. It's like a diplomatic tug-of-war with its old friends in the West on one side of the rope and its big, powerful neighbors in the East on the other. So on one side, you've got the United States. President Trump is not holding back, putting pressure on India about trade. And his words here, well, they've got a real edge to them. When he says it's getting late, that's not just a suggestion. The impatience is just palpable. But then, literally on the same day, the picture is completely different somewhere else. While things with the U.S. are feeling kind of frosty, you look over at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, and it's all smiles and warm handshakes between Prime Minister Modi and the leaders of China and Russia. What a contrast, right? And listen, this is way more than just being polite for the cameras. When President Xi uses a metaphor that powerful, calling for the dragon and the elephant to come together, that's a huge signal. It's like, as one door with the West seems to be creaking shut, India is very intentionally pushing open another one right in its own neighborhood. So, all this maneuvering on the world stage, it's not happening in isolation. It's playing out against a really confusing economic backdrop back home. It's a total paradox. The numbers on paper look pretty good, but the feeling on the street? Not so much. If you just look at the surface, you'd think things are great. Take the goods and services tax, or GST. It's basically a national health check for the economy, and collections are up a really solid 6.5% compared to last year. We're talking 1.86 trillion rupees in August alone. That's a big number. But this is where it gets weird. Despite that healthy-looking number, the market is just meh. It's sluggish. The folks who bet their money on the future of the economy, the equity investors, they're holding back. They just don't seem to be buying this growth story. So this is the disconnect we're talking about, right? You've got these positive signs, like strong growth and all that tax money coming in. But then you have this other side of the coin, a flat market and nervous investors. And why are they nervous? Well, they're looking at those tariff threats from the U.S. and worrying that Indian companies just can't charge what they used to. Okay, so you're the Indian government. You've got pressure from the outside with the U.S. and these jitters on the inside. What do? Well, it looks like they're making a big two-pronged bet. One part is about defense, securing the country's finances. The other is about offense, boosting the economy at home. The first part of this plan is all about building a financial firewall. It's a strategy called de-risking, and it's pretty straightforward. The whole idea is to protect the country's savings, its foreign exchange reserves, from getting rocked by shocks happening elsewhere in the world. And here's exactly what that looks like. The Reserve Bank of India, which is kind of like the country's central bank, is changing where it keeps its money. For a long time, it relied on U.S. government debt. But now, it's buying up gold. Why gold? Well, in uncertain times, gold is seen as the ultimate safe haven, a way to insulate India from exactly the kind of geopolitical drama we were just talking about. But you can't just build walls and hide, right? You got to get your own house in order. So while they're securing the reserves, the government is also turning its attention inward. Part 2 of the plan is all about trying to get people spending again and feeling confident about the economy right here at home. And their big idea to do that? Tax cuts. We're talking about plans to lower taxes on something like 175 different everyday items. Things like shampoo, TVs, consumer electronics, even hybrid cars. It's a pretty direct play. Leave more cash in people's pockets so they'll go out and spend it. And we're not talking about a small trim here. The proposed cut is pretty significant, a drop of at least 10 percentage points on some of these things. For you and me, that can actually mean seeing a real difference in the price at the checkout counter. So, we've seen the big global strategy, the ambitious economic plans. But here's the thing. A great plan is only as good as your ability to actually make it happen. And for that, our final story brings us crashing back down to earth with a pretty serious reality check. This whole thing is about a failure to execute. A new report from the country's top auditor, the Comptroller and Auditor General, uncovered something that is just mind-boggling. In the state of Mizoram, a beautiful new state museum was built, but it has never, not once, been open to the public. Just let this sink in for a second. The building itself was finished way back in 2012. For more than a decade, it's just been sitting there, empty. And the reason? Bureaucratic hang-ups, and the fact that nobody even planned for what to put inside. A completely finished public project, totally useless. And that's where it all comes full circle. See, that empty museum in Mizoram, it's not really about a museum. It's a symbol. It's about the massive gap that can exist between a grand vision and the messy reality of getting things done. India is making these bold, strategic pivots on the world stage and planning huge economic shifts. The ambition is absolutely there. But the question, the really crucial question, is this. Can the engine on the ground, the day-to-day execution, keep up with that ambition? Because that's what's going to define the journey ahead.